All rise, please, for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everyone. Before the start of this meeting, we met with the Ways and Means and the budget work session. And then we had an executive session regarding personnel matters regarding, budget analysts and compensation for non-uniform employees. And then we had a meeting at 6:30 for interviews for our pension advisors. And before we go any further, is there a motion to approve one of the two of the pension advisors we met with?
I'd like to make a motion to for Vanguard.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor of the question?
Aye.
Aye. And before we logged off with Nancy Santa Cecilia, she also voted for Vanguard, or gave a favor for Vanguard, even though it wasn't a vote. Okay, thank you very much for that. Any visitors or public comment before we move on to the regular agenda? No visitors or public comment? All right, announcements. We're going to next meet, this board is going to next meet on Tuesday, November 16th at 7 p.m. We're going to be closed on Tuesday, November 2nd for Election Day, and Thursday, November 11th for Veterans Day. Daylight saving time, finally, is going to be Sunday, November 7th. Turn your clocks back 1 hour, and it's a good time to check your smoke detectors. And leaf and yard recyclings, first and fourth Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. and the third Saturday of each month from 9 a.m. to 11. Drop-off site is the New Britain entrance to Central Park. The 2021 Bucks County Household Hazardous Waste Collection event is there are two, only one left, October 30th at Strayer Middle School in Quakertown. You must register. The Gift of Life and American Red Cross Blood Drive is going to be at the Activity Center Friday, November 12th, 2 to 7, Friday, December 10th, 2 to 7, and you can register at redcrossblood.org and use the code Doylestown Township. All right, I think we got no more announcements. The next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for the regular meeting on September 21st, 2021. Everyone had the opportunity to review those minutes?
Yes.
Yeah, I have one correction.
Okay.
On page 6 under section 5, it mentions that the Water and Sewer Committee will be receiving the preliminary draft at the end of October. I just want to clarify that's the preliminary draft of the 537 plan.
Okay, thank you. Noted. Get that? Anything else? Motion to approve of that correction?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is the approval for the minutes of the special two meetings, special meetings of September 28th and October 5th. Is everyone okay with taking both together? Okay.
Well,
Nope.
I was only at one, so.
Oh, never mind then. Okay, so.
you have to separate
that's all
them.
right. You have to do that for us. September 28th, 2021 special meeting minutes are up for approval. Is there a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then for October 5th, 2021, is there a motion to approve them?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One abstention.
Thank you. And then budget works, what am I missing? Budget work sessions for September 21st, 2021.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the budget work session for October 5th.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
One abstention. Okay. Wow, that's a lot of minutes to approve. All right, moving on next to the correspondence from Mr. Art Sapolsky requesting a return of his fee that he paid for renting this room. Correct. What is your pleasure?
Well, I know typically we don't refund these fees. At least that's my understanding. But I think in this case, they requested at the same time as the application. So I'm not opposed to it.
All right. Is everyone okay with that? Do I need a motion?
All right, I'll make the motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
You okay?
Yep.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, the class action from the We got a letter from Josh Shapiro, and I'm not sure what,
If I
any.
can
Go ahead,
just weigh in
please.
briefly, there's no downside to participating. You may very well get some money that the police department can use for purposes that are intended to deal with the opioid issues we face in this county, in this township. So there's no downside to participating.
Okay, I'm good.
All right.
Ready?
Yeah.
All right, so does that need a formal motion?
I would say yes. There'll be
Right.
some documents to be signed later, but not tonight.
I would like to make the motion to participate in the class action lawsuit. Oof.
Thank you.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It sounds good. Anything else?
Not at this time.
All righty, the next item on the agenda, solicitor.
If I may, your PFM made a presentation, I believe, talking about the merits of refinancing an outstanding bond issue. And in consultation with Jamie, what's her last name? You know who I mean by Jamie, don't you, the girl from PFM?
Oh, yeah,
The woman.
Jamie from PMF.
I forget her last name, I'm having a brain fart. In any event, and Stephanie Mason, I solicited quotes from qualified bond counsel to serve as bond counsel for the township for the refinance, and also if you are in a position to proceed to borrow money for the rec center, to also get an idea of what it would cost if you combined the financings into one issue. Because if you can do that, it's certainly beneficial because you're not going to pay the cost twice. Mm-hmm. So in response to those 8 solicitations, I received back 5, all of whom are certainly more than capable of providing the services you need. All are referenced in the Red Book, which is the book that identifies qualified bond counsel, and all have done a lot of work, not only generally, but also in Bucks County. So it's really up to you folks to decide who you would like to have be your bond counsel. And I know that Jamie would like to have an answer so that they can move forward with that particular counsel when they start working on the refinancing.
Any thoughts? Anybody have a favorite? Do you have a favorite?
I have worked with everyone on this list, so I don't have a favorite.
Okay. That's not
I
helpful.
suspect you may want to just look at the cost. Maybe that's the only factor that's different, but I don't know. It's up to you folks.
Okay, let me make mine.
It was in my letter, I think, of October 18th that I think Stephanie sent out.
Yeah. It went out, it came in, they had the proposals, and then that came in late yesterday, so we didn't forward it out. So, yes.
I don't have a preference. I would prefer if Mr. Garten made a recommendation. I hate to put you on the spot, but it's, I mean, I don't know, we could go with lowest, but this isn't like, it's a little bit different than just trying to find the low, I don't know.
Well, is there any reason that we have to make a decision today? Because I would like to run it past our Ways and Means Committee. They would have the,
They don't know these people.
Yeah.
they wouldn't
I
have.
mean, a couple of them might, but they,
I don't think so.
majority wouldn't. And I know that
This is a-
the goal of the Ways and Means was to have Jamie come and explain everything in November to the board. She explained it in September, but she contacted Mr. Garten out after the Ways and Means Committee in September to find somebody in October so that they could come and, she could come and know that she was all set to go with a bond counsel.
I like this.
Most people on this list came from her list as well.
Yeah. Least expensive.
He's done a lot of work
I
for
still would like to know, is it possible to delay this? Is there a reason that we need to make a decision today? Because I would like to have a little bit more time to look into it.
I don't know. I'm ready to make a recommendation. I don't know whether, I guess we could, I just don't
It
know.
would be cataclysmic if you didn't know.
I don't think it's gonna, yeah, I mean, Jamie will probably be concerned about it, but I don't think it's, earth-shattering if you looked at it and decided in November when she presents who your bond counsel would be. So you could table that, you have the information, you could, think about who would be appropriate.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion to table it until next meeting.
The motion to table, all in favor?
Do we need a second?
Yeah, well, yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I guess are you already good with that?
I'm okay. I think we should make a decision. I don't know why, what the point is delaying. I guess if you want to run it by Ways and Means, I don't know that they're going to be any more help on these people, on these firms themselves.
Okay.
But I guess I don't have any problem with it. If our bonds people aren't going to be put off by it because of an extra 6 weeks, which is what it is, right? 6 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
You need to vote on the motion to
I
table.
know, I'm waiting because.
Yeah, I'll second the motion to table.
We have a motion and a second.
All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next item on the agenda. Okay, this is tabled.
Police chief.
Chief, got anything?
Nothing to report at this time.
Township engineer?
Nothing to report this evening.
Okay, and, okay. Dave, you're on.
Okay, I got a number of items, so just want to go through them. First is our 21-22 sodium chloride road salt CoStar's contract participation acknowledgement. As you know, we have to notify the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, our Department of General Services, our intent to buy road salt from them under the CoStar's contract for the 2021-22 season, which goes from August of 21 to July of 2022. We typically buy 2,100 tons of salt. Under this agreement, we are required to buy 60% of that, which is 720 tons, and we can buy up to 140%, which is 1,680 tons. The board needs to acknowledge our participation. The low bid for this area, which is Bucks County, was with Cargill Incorporated for a cost of $62.31 per ton. Making that recommendation, the board acknowledge that participation so we can buy road salt this year.
I'll make the motion to acknowledge the township participation.
I'll second. I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay. The next is Kids Castle. I've got two items that we broke out into two separate memos. The first is a change order to the current project that we're working on, which is the expansion of the current three, the swing area and the tot lot. The tot lot area got a little larger, so therefore we did have a change order in the purchase of the port-in-place surfacing. We got a quote from Recreation Resources USA, who is the vendor who's going to supply and install it. This is a CoStar's purchase. We're already purchasing from them. I'm asking your approval for the change order number one for the amount of $3,850 to purchase additional port-in-place from Recreation Resources under their current contract.
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. But I do have a question. When are we planning on doing the port and play?
Say that again.
When do we plan on?
When are we planning on doing, I know we had a problem with Kids Castle and the temperatures with it in the past. Is this something that's happening soon?
Yeah, I mean, we're right now, we're waiting for the installation of the equipment. The guys have been working for about, since Labor Day, since we closed it, and, we will be temperature sensitive. So, as you know, we do get, I don't know the exact parameters for the install, but it's almost a one-day installation regarding the port-in-place. The equipment takes about a week. The port-in-place goes pretty quick, so we will work with the vendor and based on temperature, go accordingly.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, thanks.
My next memo is maintenance of the current port-in-place. So if you remember in 2019, we finished the large expansion of Kids Castle where we installed about 7,500 square feet of port-in-place. My second memo to you is for two items. Again, both with quotations from Recreation Resources. Again, the vendor who's installing port-in-place for the new project, which is occurring now. So I don't want to get confused. There was the project done in 2019 that needs maintenance. Two things. The port-in-place needs to be sealed. It's basically granular, and it starts to, as it's used, it starts to come apart. It needs to be sealed, and also we have a high-use areas around some of the play equipment that it's actually just deteriorating to the point it's becoming unsafe. So we received a quote from Recreation Resources for two items on this piece is repair of the port in place. That is $6,895, and that's about 350 square feet. And then port in place is basically surface sealing, which is a binder sealant that goes across the entire surface of the 2019 installation. That's 7,500 square feet, and that is a total of $12,500. So in total, second ask is for $19,395 for port-in-place maintenance.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
I do have a question about that. This is only 3 years old. Is this going to be, like, every 3 years we're spending
Yes.
$19,000 on this?
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
Only question I had.
There's a motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah, it seems a lot of money for maintenance.
Okay. My next item is the Public Works portable radios. We basically during Hurricane Isaias and when we had the tornado, we basically learned, and also during I guess it was Tropical Storm Ida, and or what that was a hurricane as well, is that during these storms our cell phones don't work, whether it could be because of the storm itself or because they get wet and they just don't work well in wet weather. So we budgeted for this year $40,000 for the purchase of handheld radios for the Public Works Department to be utilized on our dedicated township frequency to communicate with the Public Works staff, because the cell phones just don't work in emergency situations. So Rick Shea, our fire marshal, and our deputy emergency management coordinator went out and received quotes. You have the quote in front of you that came with the packet. The quote is for the purchase of 20 radios, handheld radios, also the installation of 2 repeater locations, not on our site, so that we can actually have these work throughout the township. One location is the hospital. I don't exactly know where the second location is, but so repeater locations. We're over budget by $4,000 on this item itself. Okay. Before I ask you to approve this, the chief has a comment or two on how our system should work.
Thank you. I think it's important for everyone to understand that 23,000 of this is basically for infrastructure, the cell towers and stuff, and the replacement of this stuff. What they're asking for is it's a public safety thing with so that our public works guys can actually communicate with one another without trying to speak through the cellular services. What's important, and I think it's in the interest of full disclosure, especially around budget time, is that the system that's being proposed in itself, if it's implemented next year, it still will not be able to communicate with our police cars directly. There's potentially another $15,000 of additional costs that would need to link the two systems together so that the road department can communicate with our patrol cars out in those storms. This used to be done years ago. When I first started here, we had a communication system. We had 2 communication systems, one for just police dispatch, and then one that was a township frequency that we were able to speak to our road department. That went away a number of years ago, and I cannot honestly tell you why. But basically what we're trying to do is get back to that. But this cost that you're looking at right now does not tie the two systems together. So at some point in time, I think so we're aware that you might see another cost, whether it be put through the administrative department or through the police department, so that we can actually communicate. And that's
You're obviously,
our patrol officers out on the road.
no, but I mean, you're in favor of.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely in favor. This is a good system that's in place. I just think that at some point in time, we're going to want to take the next step.
Okay. And that is approximately like 15,000?
And that's just a rough guess of what it
Sure.
would cost for the police, because I think it's actually an upgrade to the police cars.
Okay.
To be able to compatible with them. I don't think it's something that they would add on theirs, and I think it has to come from our end.
Okay. I'll make the motion to approve.
I'll second it.
And I just want to add, that is with wireless communications electronics for $44,467.60.
That is the motion. There's a first and
Thank
a
you.
second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. You done?
One more item.
I'm sorry.
This has to do with the Park and Recreation Building. In addition to the architectural services, we are in need of site civil services as well as planning and landscape architecture services. We solicited proposals from Pannoni to do the site civil work as well as Pickering Courts in Somerset. If you recall, our former township engineers who did the the site civil work for phases 1 and 2 of this building and the Public Works building. And we solicited a proposal from Gilmore Associates for the planning and landscape architecture. It's my recommendation that we award the site civil engineering services for the Park and Recreation building as well as the court complex to Pickering Courts in Somerset, totaling $93,300. That is the first recommendation. The second recommendation is to award the planning and landscape architecture portion for the Park and Recreation building and the court site to Gilmore Associates in the totaling $21,500. This was, and I apologize, this was sent in after the packet went out. It was sent out Monday afternoon. Memo.
The two reports were in the packet.
The two that I'm asking you to approve were in the packet.
Yes.
Correct.
The two-
My memo
yes.
and other was not. So there was a supplemental, but the ones I'm asking you to approve were in the packet.
Where does this fit into the scope of the budget right now?
It's budget. It was plugged in when Ed went
Okay, so
through
it's
and did-
part of the overall number.
We
This is
plugged in
not- okay.
$150,000 in professional services in addition to the architectural.
Okay.
Okay, so
For this.
for this
okay.
purpose.
I'll make the motion for both of them. Well, unless anybody wants to split them up.
No, it's fine.
I have a question. Why isn't there an RFP process? It just seems like we solicited from people we already work with. Is there generally
Refer to
not?
Mr. Garden, but this is their professional
You're not
services.
required to. I'm not suggesting that Jen Herring is wrong. I mean, you do an RFP, it means you're not bidding it, but you're soliciting quotes for services. You're not required to, but you do on a regular basis.
Yeah, I would prefer to put this out to an RFP process so that we could have competitive bids.
Well, I think what you're going to lose is time.
Right.
That's all you're going to lose is time. I think, I don't know, because it was before my time when Pickering Courts in Somerset was selected to do the site civil work for this complex, when this building was in design. I don't know how they were hired, but they were, at the time, our municipal engineers as well. So I don't know if that was an RFP process or not. I can't speak to that, but again, we will just lose time. And one of the reasons why we did ask Pickering as well is because they are aware of what this entails. They did a proposal for the New Britain Road site. They gave us a proposal for that work.
Both of these providers or professionals have a lot of institutional history. And to get new people in and new entities in it not only will be, they have a lot more to get up to speed, and then does delay. I see your point, but I don't know that we need to do that here. There's a motion and a second?
I don't think
There's no second. Is there a second? I'll second. There's not a motion.
I made a motion.
All right. Do you want to weigh in on this, Dan, before I call the question?
I am not comfortable with it not being an RFP, although I do understand the point that they have worked with us before. My inclination would be to put it out for an RFP and see what else we get back, if I'm being honest with the process.
All right.
Motion to table would be in order.
All right.
I'll make the motion to table this.
I'll second.
All right. Motion table carries.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
I'm going to say nay.
I say nay too. All right, I'll say aye because we're just going to stalemate. So whatever we'll do, and we'll table it for right now.
Tabled.
That's all I have. Thank you.
All right, so you're going to have to develop RFPs for these two projects.
Yeah, I just want to note, we're going to lose 60 days. Just want to know, I mean, just, and we got a schedule, we're going to lose 60 days in the RFP process in and of itself. So just
What
want
does
to.
what does that mean in terms of cost, Dave?
Yeah,
or
that's my
whatever?
question.
What does that mean?
Costs, I don't know what costs, I mean, the architects want to move forward. Now, the architects can move forward with the building design. We are just going to lose time with the architects, and it's just going to push things in 22. It's going to push things out further. That's just the point there. What's the impact and cost? I don't know. I can't speak to that. That's all. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that answer, with the direction that way.
Actually, we don't really have much of a choice, so
Yeah.
let's see what happens.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Okay. All right, anything from you, Stephanie?
This time.
Dan, you're up on the supervisor's comments.
Yeah, this is something I seem to do regularly. Our EAC has been, for some time, maintaining the native plant garden in the back of Central Park. And once again, they have won a Garden of Distinction Award for the hard work they've been doing. Just a little bit of overview of what's going on back there. They recently started expansion in the second area, and we've been getting help from the Penn State Waterkeepers Association to start going into the pond back there and pulling out a bunch of invasive plants. So you're starting to see some work done back there to beautify that area as well.
Sounds great, thank you. Anybody else have any? Ryan, you
Nothing
have
for me
anything?
tonight.
You have anything, Jen?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, I came back from our PSATS conference in Hershey. It's an association for Pennsylvania Township Supervisors, and it's oftentimes a very educational opportunity and a networking opportunity. And this year there were a lot of resolutions that we voted on that were, a variety of different topics. But one of the things that they asked that I bring back was 2026 is going to be the 250th anniversary of the United States. And so there's an organization that's run by the federal government called America 250, and the state also has tied into that. So it's America250pa.org is the group that is organizing celebrations, and they're encouraging governments to pass resolutions to work on celebrating the 250th anniversary. And I will be bringing a sample resolution to the board in the near future so that we could decide whether we want to participate in the celebration along with the rest of the state and country.
Sounds great. I'm going to pass on any comments. And I just want to say congratulations to Janine and her team for this wonderful distinction. So I think that's wonderful. It's really good. All right, next item on the agenda, proposed ordinances.
If I may, the board previously authorized me to prepare an ordinance which would amend your consumer fireworks ordinance so as to add to the list of enumerated holidays when it's appropriate to utilize consumer fireworks the Hindu holiday of Diwali. So I prepared the ordinance. It was duly advertised in the Intelligencer, and a copy was provided to the Bucks County Law Library, so you're able to conduct a public hearing and take action tonight. That's the only change that occurred to your original fireworks ordinance, is to add that holiday. So with that in mind, you need to conduct a public hearing if anyone's here for that purpose. If not, it's appropriate for you folks to decide if you're going to approve it or not.
Anyone here for the purpose of discussion of the fireworks ordinance amendment to include the Diwali celebrations? Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the amended resolution?
I'd like to make that motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The next matter I have also previously, the board authorized myself to prepare the necessary ordinance, which you reviewed before, to advertise the warrantless arrest ordinance that the chief requested. Again, I prepared the ordinance, which I believe you reviewed at the last time when you authorized me to do the advertising. And appropriate notices were placed in the Intelligencer and the Bucks County Law Library. So again, it's ready for a public hearing, and if you so choose to consider adopting the ordinance.
All right, anyone here to comment on the warrantless Search ordinance, seeing none, hearing none, is there a motion to approve the ordinance?
I'll make the motion to approve the ordinance.
Second?
I'll second.
Thank you, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks.
That's all I have.
All right, sounds good. And no unfinished business. DTMA Furlong project reimbursement agreement. Do you want to speak to this, Keith?
Yeah, good evening. I'll be real quick. My name is Keith Haas. I'm with the Doylestown Township Municipal Authority. As Barbara stated, the reason that I am here tonight is to request your approval of the Furlong Area Water System Reimbursement Agreement that was recently collaborated on by DTMA and Buckingham Township. This agreement closes out the cost-sharing aspect of the Furlong Area Water System project that was constructed a few years ago. Just some real quick background on this important project and why this cost-sharing agreement was needed and needs township approval. Many years ago, Doylestown and Buckingham Townships experienced groundwater contamination in the area of Rogers Road, 263, and Edison Furlong Road. TCE and other chemicals leaked into the groundwater due to manufacturing in that area. The DEP cleaned up the soil, but the groundwater remained contaminated. Homes, businesses could not drink the water. The DEP offered DTMA a grant to extend public water to that area of the township. The DEP also encouraged Buckingham Township to join us and extend public water to their area of the township. So the grant and the remaining costs were divvied up between the DTMA and Buckingham Township. Recently, we came to a fair resolution of the final project costs. So even though no costs were incurred by the township, Doylestown Township incurred no costs on this project, the original grant was directed towards Doylestown Township as the lead agency. It was basically a tri-party agreement. Thus, we are seeking your approval to the original tri-party agreement and this agreement that was recently passed. The project was successfully completed and extended public water to nearly 50 property owners, including businesses. And it is a nice example of municipalities working together to get a good environmental project completed. So that's all that is the background, and I'll gladly entertain any questions.
Nope. I know a lot about this. Anybody has any questions, I can help it. I entertain a motion to approve this agreement.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks, Keith.
Thank you.
Okay. An appeal notice, enforcement notice regarding 71 Buttonwood Lane. Is anyone here regarding
If I may,
that?
I would just give you some background.
Please.
Sinclair Salisbury from your township staff sent an enforcement notice to Dorada Van Mock, I don't know whether that's correctly pronouncing her name, who's the record owner of a property known as 71 Buttonwood Lane, tax parcel 9-31-46. She, in the context of that letter from Sinclair, was a notification to her that she had the right to appeal that enforcement notice to the Board of Supervisors. She did that, but she has notified the township that she will not be appearing tonight, and I think you saw a couple things. Number one, you saw the photographs that Sinclair provided, as well as the explanation from Ms. Mock as to why she hasn't done anything further other than cleaning up a modest amount of trees for this hearing tonight. And also, I believe there are some neighbors out who live near there that would like to express their opinions related to this matter when the board considers this.
Okay. The homeowner is not here. Is there a tenant?
No, it's not even occupied. It's, if you look at the photographs, it's,
Was there a tenant, I should say?
I'm not sure of that. I don't know that Sinclair knows that either.
Do we, Sinclair?
Sorry, what is the question?
Was there a tenant in the property
no,
when the tornado occurred?
When
Or-
it came to our attention, it was empty, unoccupied
So you
for
don't
at
know.
least a year. There are a couple of neighbours here who could probably fill in some details.
Okay. All right. If anyone wants to make a statement, please come up and come to the microphone and identify who you are and where you live, please.
Hi, I'm Mary Raskin. I live across the street from 68 Buttonwood Lane. This house has been unoccupied for 12 years. It needs a septic system. There's no fence around the pool. They've done sporadic work. Something stops, they start something, and then it never gets finished. And this is a repetitive process. And like they painted the outside and they took down the gutters. They put up a security system and really did nothing else. And that was maybe 6 years ago. They would come up here every once in a while from New York. And we haven't seen them for a long time. And the house is just sitting there. The porch is gone. The inside is leaking. There's real mold. The floors are so warped. It's like this. It's the tornado took out the roof. They put a tarp on, which now has a big hole in it, and the roof has not been fixed. People come to my house and they say, "What happened over there?" I mean, it looks like a kind of a war zone. And there's wood lying all around. It's not maintained. And it's kind of a pox on the neighborhood. People are wondering if it's going to affect their resale value. It's becoming a source of anxiety for the neighbors who really don't want to look at this. And they're wondering, are kids going to come in there and play and start a fire? Are homeless people going to come in there and start a fire? It's just so wide open and derelict. And I can't imagine what it's going to take to get this up to where it's livable. You know, it's they never put in the septic. I think I mentioned that. And of course, nobody has lived there. They would come out and say, well, sometimes we'll go and they were camping. They said camping, and then they did some work, and then they went back to New York, and that was kind of it. So, and we're wondering if whoever does contract, if somebody's going to make sure that these people, first of all, are legitimate. Because the people who have been coming by there, I looked them up, and it's kind of flaky businesses. And if they're going to do, the work is going to be up according to code, and if they're going to finish it, which has been a problem before, it's just, doesn't get finished. And I guess that's all. If I say anything else?
Thank you. Anybody else have anything to add?
Hi, a little nervous. We live right next door, and we spent a year fixing up our house with HAP Contractors, 63 Buttonwood Lane. Everything's new, brand new. Next door, we've watched that for, like Mary said, about 12 years. I've seen them maybe 3 times. They've never mowed the lawn, they've never raked leaves, they've never plowed the driveway, when it snows. It's a mess. And I do worry about fire. Their tree is the one that took out half my house with a tornado last year. After 2 weeks, we finished the construction, everything was perfect, boom, came down. It wasn't a dead tree, it wasn't her fault, but they never came. We spent, thousands of dollars to get their tree out of our yard, but it's scary. There's a lot of dead trees on that property. I worry about ticks. They never mow the lawn. The deer are over there, the foxes are over there, the groundhogs, vultures. They have 2 sheds that are back of their yard that are collapsed, holes in them. It's dangerous. Mary said the pool's not covered, or it's covered, but there's no fence around it. We have to have a fence around it. We have to obey all the laws. We have to pay the taxes. Our house, the value, what we spent to fix that up, living next door to this, they painted the house light green, dark green, light green, dark green, windows, mold. It's embarrassing and it's scary. And our propane tanks are right there for our pool. I always worry about fire. You know, one of the trees falls down. I know there's no electricity. And when they came to have it as a summer home from New York, but they're not there and they never come. So it's just, I don't understand how a house can be kept like that in a neighborhood and allowed, especially, like I said, they never mow. I have lots of pictures, lots of video, and I don't know if Sinclair did. I know the township has been out there very nicely trying to help us. But again, I pay taxes to keep this street looking nice, and I have to live next to it, and I know every neighbor comments on it. But we figure we have nothing to do. I was told if they pay their taxes, there's nothing anyone can do about it, and that's very depressing, for the rest of us who do maintain our homes. So that's all.
Well, actually, if I may, when Sinclair finishes this matter, you should cite him a couple more times, and when with the board's approval, we can file an action in equity to abate the nuisance.
Yeah, definitely.
We have to go through a record of a couple enforcement notices, then we can do that with your approval. But if you've seen the pictures, and my uncle and aunt used to live on Buttonwood Lane, and I can't imagine that. My God, what a
No, that's terrible, and I'm apologies to both of you that that's ridiculous, and I think whatever, and frankly, it shows their level of really caring that they didn't show up tonight. Yeah. So I think whatever, on my end, whatever we need to do to forcefully enforce,
The tear down of that.
Yeah, the fines, whatever. And frankly, I would think, that it was brought up by both of these women, the idea that there is no fence around that pool is largely alarming. In a conjunction with the fires, but that is a massive liability, and I would use whatever you can in terms of,
Whatever we can do.
Whatever we need to do.
Let's start by, there's a motion to deny the appeal filed by Mrs. Von Mock. That's the first step.
All right, there's a motion to deny the
Motion.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye. Is there a motion to authorize me to prepare an action in equity to abate the nuisance to be filed in the Court of Common Pleas of Bucks County?
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anything else we can do?
That's what the next step is. We get judicial involvement and we can do some things.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Sinclair. Thank you, residents, for coming. I'd like to come to your house, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know. I want to visit that place.
I just wanted to thank you. We just needed some direction for the next step, so I'll work with Mr. Garton to do whatever he recommends.
Okay.
Thank you.
Things are in motion now. So hopefully we'll bring some resolution after 12 years.
It won't be overnight because we have to file a court case and they have to answer. We have to have a hearing and all that sort of thing. But I would hope that Sinclair has everybody's name and number because we may need you to testify.
And you won't, it's an easy thing. You won't have to be nervous. You did fine today.
Yes.
The same thing you'll do the next time. All right, thank you. All right, moving on to the next item on the agenda, request to hook up on 60 Pine Valley.
Yes. We have a request for an existing system that's experiencing malfunction to connect to the existing sewer line. They've provided the necessary paperwork.
All right, is there a motion to approve the request?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And now we have to approve the resolution for the Bucks County Hazard Mitigation Plan. Is there a motion to approve the resolution?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next item. Is that air conditioning? So, sounds a lot.
When are those panels coming in?
That's right.
Panels will be installed the week of November 29th to December 5th, I believe.
All right.
Governmental entities, certificate of resolution, TD Bank. Is there a motion to approve? For our
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pension advisory appointment. What is that? No.
That was, you did
did
that.
that, sorry.
You did that.
We did that in the beginning.
I know, I
That's how
had it.
efficient we are.
I know.
Pebble Ridge, Woodridge Sewer Project payment for Bucks County Water and Sewer in the amount of $184,298.74. Is a motion to approve this payment?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Request to send a big truck, 1992 International dump truck, to auction. Is there a motion to approve that?
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Zoning hearing board application for 34 Linda Lane. She requested variance, so we sent her to the zoning hearing board.
Leave the matter to the zoning hearing board, pretty
Okay.
straightforward.
All right. Treasurer's report for October 19th, 2021.
I'll make the motion to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, and finally, the bills list for October 19th, 2021.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good. All right, our next meeting is Tuesday, November 16th at 7. We're going to be closed on Tuesday, November 2nd for General Election Day, and Tuesday, November 11th for Veterans Day. Daylight savings time is November 7th. Turn your clocks back 1 hour and then replace your batteries in your smoke detectors and 202 detectors. Leaf and yard recycling is the first and fourth Tuesday from 9 to 2, and the third Saturday of each month from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Drop-off site at the New Britain entrance to Central Park. All right, 2021 Hazardous Waste Collection event is at Strayer Middle School, October 30th. You have to register at Bucks SHHW-Eventbrite.com. Give the gift of life at the American Red Cross Bloodmobile is going to be at the Activity Center on Friday, November 12th, 2 to 7, Friday, December 10th, 2 to 7, and you must register at redcrossblood.org. Thank you. We are adjourned.
Good night, all.
Good night.
To be signed.
Documents to be signed.